Hello everybody, Isabella from Pie here, and today we are back to St Audrey's Park in Somerset when we are filming some crazy fashions really. Really crazy. We are talking sort of mid-60s, 1860s of course, and a huge crinoline skirt. So a big room, especially for that purpose. And it's going to be quite a lot of wrangling round. Starting already laced up in my newest corset. This one is going to the shop just after the shoot really. We've already discussed this kind of corsets, especially the ones with boning channel covered with ribbons. I have another one that could actually work very well with that dress, but it's a little bit too big and the fit of this one is quite tight. So this one, I think you've already seen this one as well. We'll have to wait for another occasion. I already have my beautiful cotton pantaloons and stockings, and I will put my shoes in a second. But first, a modesty petticoat, which is basically anything that works at that point, in case you sort of toppled over. You don't really want your shoes to be on display, but shoes, more than shoes. Right. Now, normally when you have servants or friends or relatives to help you, you would put the crinoline on. I'll just demonstrate how big the thing is. So that is the easy part. If I can get this through. But look at that. That's absolutely enormous. But to put skirts and petticoats on top of that, you definitely need help, because I just can't reach there. So I'm going to make a little experiment. There are actually sort of photos and mentions of special poles allowing other people to get the skirt sorted nicely, but I'm going to take my petticoat and my skirt, arrange it circularly, and just step in and hope I can lift it all up, because it's quite heavy by that time. So a bit of a technical break, and I'll see if I can arrange it accordingly. Right, suppose let's dive in. Maybe not. Shoes first. And this is a lot of it. And there's a petticoat underneath, all in twill. I think I will film the disrobing to give you some idea. Now this is the reason why you usually put the petticoats up over the head and not the other way around. You can see my capes over here. Oh my god, it's heavy. Also vacuum. I may do it this way. No funny business, just putting petticoats through. My heels got stuck in between the hoops. Okay. I'm getting there, I think. So heavy. Okay, I think the cage is mostly tucked in, which is good. Sit and do my ties. It's quite a workout. Looks nice though. Right, now petticoat. Petticoat is slightly off centre. One. And the skirt. This side. Eek. Now this side. The skirt with the down this side. Right, I'm getting up. God. Yes, the petticoat is all back to front. See the problem. I think I need to ask for help. Stop. Well, it's on, but it took a lot of time to just get it all sorted, so I'm not sure my experiment actually worked very well. I will film getting out of it so you can have a look at the petticoat, but it's a lot of skirt. So, not sure about dancing. You need to get good centrifugal force to get it all swirling around in a waltz. Well, let us put a bodice on. Normally I would be having a little chemisette, which I do have, but I think with the bodice, these are going to be a little bit too much to show. And probably chemisette will be redundant. Chemisette has a longer sleeve, so let's just tuck it in. The best thing about those chemises is they have a button here, so if I need to, if it's really showing too much, I'll just unbutton and tuck it into the corset and it's fine. Nothing to worry. Now I'm going to get to my bodice. My God, how do people work in these? At least conveniently, my bodice is buttoned in front. So let's have a look how much of these bits are showing. Not much, which is great. I feel like a ship. I can just park myself here and be done with it. Okay. Let's do the buttons. Now the interesting style, as you can see, lots of fabric, but also relatively plain, and there is a reason for that. Especially the bodice, it just has a little bit of a decoration with the lace, but not much on. But once you splurged all that time and money to make the skirt, you don't really want to be wearing it just for one occasion. You want it to be reusable, and at the same time you want a slightly different look. So, things to do when you want to change is add a different belt. I have one belt here, but you can add a variety of belts, corselettes, peplums, extending in lattice, for example, over the skirts, or you can have an overskirt in lace. These ruffles, that whole flounce, can be removed quite easily, and you can change that flounce into a lace one, for example. There's some shouting coming from outside. Some disturbance of sorts, anyway. So that plain bodice would be a great canvas to add several different things. You can have a lace shawl draped very nicely, forming a sort of decorated bertha. You can have a bertha actually stitched on the top. You can have bretelles, a little sort of braces that are quite decorative. So loads of ways to spice it up and change it. Because obviously, yes, you have to be pretty rich to afford all that stuff. There was about 50 meters of silk going into that. But at the same time, you would be wearing that gown again and again, unless you are Sissy, for example, then maybe just twice. but then it will be handed over to someone else. So you will be taking good care of it, and you'll be trying to have as much use of it as possible. So for the later fashions, when you have overskirts will be forming the bustle, for example, so you would not be throwing away. With this size of a skirt, when you have different fashions going on, you can very easily undo it and just remade it into a very different style. There's loads of fabric in it. The same with the ruffle. You have good 16 meters of fabric there that can be made into different bodices. And obviously you can have a day bodice as well. Let us put the little belt on. It's going to be interesting. The belt showing one more interesting development at the time is using fringes. And in this case the fringe is just threads have been taken out of the shot silk. Right, let's see if I can actually do it myself. I possibly will do it in front. Aha. You're on. This should be opened nicely. Now we just shimmy into the back. And it is at the back. Huzzah! I do feel like a ship. I'm not sure if I can move. I definitely cannot fit to the doorways here, but I will give it a try. And then bling. Don't think it needs much more than simple style. Apparently even simple style is difficult for me to use. Just as well, if I hadn't done it, no one will be able to do it because you cannot approach me from the back now. Just distancing. Now for my hair, I can just have a little comb. At that time the coiffure was going from lower chignons to quite higher up, and the same with the front. Or I think I have matching flowers, and they will look good. I hope. Can't see it, so it doesn't matter really. Oh, I see a bit. That's quite nice actually. And I have a choice of long evening gloves, leather, or just some mittens, and I might go with the mittens actually. Let's try it. Easier to operate, you know, mobile phones. Okay, so some movement is possible. Let me see and compare. Okay, my hand is in. I think the leather looks better. Leather mittens, I think leather. Why? I have to put the little buttons first. I think this is the biggest skirt I have ever made. And it's, I'm not sure if I'm going to wear it, it's just so huge. I might sell it. There are people who go to the balls much more than I do. But the pattern and instructions will be in the Victorian Dressmaker 3. So if you want to make a giant, I don't know, puff like this, you can. Right. last few buttons. They're not easy to do. I think I will need to wait for some help. And I'm ready for the ball. Wow. Right. I can't move in it. Now for the going of the ball we have a little tarma as well, which is a kind of a mantlet. That will keep me warm on my way to the ball evening function. You never know. So at the moment it's just a bit of wool with fringe, it's not even lined. For autumn it's fine. For winter I will be lining it with another layer of wool or maybe fur. But for autumn it's absolutely fine.
This lady is not for turning, as they say.
My pleats are getting destroyed. Right, ball is over. I did not manage to dance a lot with that huge thing. I think it was mostly to just park yourself up and hope. I mean, we tried waltzing a little bit. You can see why for waltz the dresses started getting flatter in front. You press it here, it moves over there. It looks quite nice waltzing, to be honest. Really flows beautifully. But that's a whole different skill which I do not possess, to be honest. If you check Uprising Girl on Instagram, she can do it very well, Olivia. Right, I'm going to take it all off. I'm going to give you a glimpse of the petticoat. I'm just going to do it like this. Right, first thing first. So we have both dressing up and undressing. A little bit different than the usual copycats, I suppose. I can see it. I need help. Husband, rescue. Okay, you might need to be. Okay, I'm going to go this way. Normally, I would just undo all of it, drop it down, and step out much faster. But for the sake of art, I can live in this tent. Right. get this off. As you can see, there's loads and loads of fabric. 2 more gowns in it, and that's the petticoat. Since this project was very much a stash busting, I didn't make it from the best fabric possible. If I had to make it second time, I would choose a lighter fabric than cotton twill, because this is just heavy. It really is. Looks lovely and behaves well. And to be honest, because it's heavier, it really keeps the hoops from showing. But normally I would probably go for much lighter, possibly organdy petticoats, maybe 1 or 2. Usually 1 is enough. At that time also you can have coloured petticoats, like the famous red silk. Quite a lot of these. But I think this is quite nice. Right, I think we should be able to get this one out. Somehow it's a little bit looser. That must be a bit tricky though, this one. This in itself is actually quite light. And as you can see, it really holds very easily for sitting, for lounging, upskirting. So yeah, Kate, it's just brilliant. It's from Anton Premier Koff, made bespoke, and it's just great. I prefer it without the skirt. For walking, basically that's how you walk. There's a separate video showing how to move in crinoline, and it's a round crinoline, which this one isn't, but the basic method is the same. Use your hoops. If the narrow way is, or if the doorway is too narrow, just squash it a bit. It moves and it folds easily. Right, I hope you've enjoyed this foray into enormous skirts. I mean, just so much fabric. I'm still cannot get over that. So I hope you enjoyed that and you liked it a little bit more. Do let me know if you liked it. And if you would like to support me, there's a buy me a coffee link somewhere in the description of the video. Oh my god. That's it, we can switch it off now.